Deep within the molten heart of our world, a colossal engine is faltering. The Earth's magnetic field, an invisible sentinel that has protected life for eons, is weakening. Its poles, the steadfast anchors of our navigation and our world's stability, are on the move. A reversal may be approaching. For decades, the consequences of such an event were the subject of speculation. But a look into our planet's deep past paints a disturbing picture. 42,000 years ago, during a period of geomagnetic collapse, the world was plunged into chaos. The event triggered severe global shifts in climate and environment, culminating in a widespread mass extinction. The future, therefore, is shrouded in a profound uncertainty. On its official platforms, the European Space Agency admits that no one truly knows how weak the field will become, or what the full consequences of a polar reversal will be for life on Earth. What is known for certain is that our planet's magnetic shield is not a static entity. It is in a constant state of flux, its strength waxing and waning, its poles wandering across the globe. Over the last 150 years alone, scientists have measured its strength diminishing by an estimated 10%. If this rate of decay were to remain constant, the field could theoretically vanish in as little as 1,600 years. While most researchers do not believe a total collapse is imminent, the trend is undeniable. Even more dramatic is the relentless migration of the poles. For nearly 180 years, the North Magnetic Pole has been drifting northwest, its pace accelerating to a staggering 65 kilometers per year. But why is this invisible force so critical? It is our planet's primary defense against the fury of the cosmos. The magnetic field shields our world from the relentless bombardment of solar winds and the catastrophic energy of solar storms. Without this geomagnetic cocoon, these turbulent cosmic phenomena could strip away our atmosphere, rendering the surface of the Earth barren and uninhabitable. Geological history shows that the field reverses its polarity at irregular intervals, on average every 200,000 years. During such a reversal, the magnetic north and south poles trade places. The process is not instantaneous. It unfolds over thousands of years, a slow, chaotic transition where the field weakens, fractures, and then eventually re-establishes itself in the opposite orientation. For a long time, the true impact of this process on nature remained unclear. While some studies found no direct link between reversals and major extinctions, other evidence suggested that the weakened shield would leave life dangerously exposed. It was a team of researchers from the University of New South Wales in Sydney that finally began to connect the pieces. The Earth's magnetic field is a testament to the planet's hidden life, a dynamic and powerful force that shapes our world from its core to the highest reaches of its atmosphere. It is a constant, silent reminder that we are passengers on a dynamic world, subject to immense and ancient cycles far beyond our control. From the dark peat of a forgotten swamp, a giant emerges. A 60-ton trunk of a Kauri tree, a silent sentinel preserved for millennia, pulled from the earth during a construction project. This was not merely ancient timber, it was a witness. A team of scientists, led by Chris Turney, recognized it as a unique time capsule, a biological archive from a world on the brink of a dramatic transformation. Its rings, spanning 1,700 years of life, held a secret history of our planet, written in the language of atoms. By meticulously analyzing the delicate ratio of carbon isotope
This is where things get really interesting. What you're about to hear might explain why this was never meant to be discovered.
Isotopes within its wood, they could read the story of the sky. The key lies in the relationship between carbon-12 and its much rarer cousin, carbon-14. Carbon-14 is forged in the upper atmosphere, a direct consequence of the ceaseless bombardment of cosmic rays from deep space. Our world's primary defense against this radiation is its magnetic field, a vast, invisible shield. When this shield is strong, less cosmic radiation penetrates and less carbon-14 is created. When it weakens, the influx of rays increases, and the signature of carbon-14 becomes indelibly stamped upon every living thing. The Kauri's rings told a terrifying story. For centuries, Earth's magnetic field had been fluctuating, but around 41,500 years ago, it began to fail catastrophically. Its strength plummeted to a mere 6% of what we experience today. In this period of profound vulnerability, the magnetic poles themselves broke free from their anchors and began to wander across the planet, eventually flipping entirely. This was the Lachant excursion, a planetary event of immense consequence, but the Kauri tree, combined with data from ancient ice cores in Greenland, revealed a far more severe chapter within it, a phase now known as the Adams event. The ice cores showed that this magnetic collapse coincided with a period of deep solar minimum. The sun itself grew quiet, weakening its own magnetic defenses. It was a perfect cosmic storm. Earth, its planetary shield all but gone, was left almost completely defenseless against the harsh radiation of the cosmos. According to the researchers, the magnetic field was so weak, it was as if it had vanished entirely. This was not a silent, invisible catastrophe. The sky itself would have become a theater of terrifying beauty and dread. Aurora spectacle across the entire globe. But this was just the visible symptom of a deeper crisis. Unchecked, cosmic rays tore into the atmosphere, splitting air particles, stripping away electrons, and ionizing the air. This process, on a planetary scale, literally fried the ozone layer, our crucial barrier against the sun's lethal ultraviolet radiation. The consequences were cataclysmic. With the ozone shield shredded, Earth was scorched by invisible radiation. Electrical storms of an unimaginable ferocity would have torn through the atmosphere. The climate was thrown into chaos. This period of profound instability coincides with other great mysteries of the deep past. It was during the Adams event that the megafauna of mainland Australia and Tasmania, the giant beasts of a lost age, vanished forever. It was a time when the continent we now know as a land of kangaroo and desert was irrevocably transformed into the arid landscape we see today. But the most profound connection may be to our own story. The timeline of the Adams event aligns with the final disappearance of our closest relatives, the Neanderthals. And at precisely the same moment, something extraordinary happened. Across the globe, from Europe to Southeast Asia, human art suddenly flourished in the deepest, darkest recesses of caves. For years, this explosion of creativity was a puzzle. Now we have a compelling explanation.
If you think you've seen everything, wait. What comes next will turn everything upside down.
As the world above became hostile, scorched by UV rays and battered by storms, caves were no longer just dwellings. They became essential sanctuaries. The sudden drive to paint the walls with hand stencils, with images of the great beasts that roamed the tormented world outside, may have been a response to this immense global upheaval. The rock walls became their canvas, a place to make sense of a world turned upside down. A testament not to a world of peace, but to one of cosmic turmoil. It is a humbling reminder that the ground beneath our feet and the sky above our heads are not constants, but players in a celestial drama far older and more powerful than ourselves. The crimson stain of red ochre pressed against stone is a message from a forgotten world. These handprints, ghostly signatures of our ancestors, were more than just art. They were a shield. The same mineral compound that created tar sun that had suddenly grown hostile. What were once caves have become our homes of steel and glass. Yet in the face of such a cosmic event, we would fare little better than those who came before us. A bombardment of unfiltered cosmic radiation would not merely scorch the Earth, it would dismantle our civilization from within. The intricate web of electrical grids, the satellite constellations that form our global nervous system, all would be rendered inert. Modern society, stripped of its technological foundation, would be plunged into a new and terrifying darkness. This chilling scenario stems from a provocative interpretation put forth by Australian researchers, a theory linking a past cataclysm to a temporary flip of the Earth's magnetic poles. But this narrative was not universally accepted. It was met with a wall of scientific skepticism. The hypothesis was elegant in its destructive simplicity. The researchers calculated that a weakened magnetic shield would allow radiation to shred the planet's ozone layer. Without this vital filter, the upper atmosphere would no longer absorb as much ultraviolet heat. This cooling, high above the surface, would trigger a cascade of atmospheric consequences, disrupting the great engines of global weather. Wind systems would shift violently, plunging Europe into a deep chill, while baking North America under an unfamiliar warmth. Yet for critics not involved in the study, this model remained a ghost story, a compelling but unproven theory. Such a dramatic and sudden climatic upheaval, they argued, should have left an indelible mark in the planet's most faithful chroniclers, the ice cores of Greenland and Antarctica. Within these frozen libraries of time, climatic fluctuations are recorded with breathtaking precision. But in the layers corresponding to 42,000 years ago, the expected global signature was absent. While some isolated evidence pointed to climate changes in the Pacific, the worldwide cataclysm the model predicted could not be found. The link between the pole shift and the dramatic extinction of Australia's megafauna, therefore, remains tenuous, a correlation in time, but perhaps not in cause. So, when will the next reversal occur? The event 42,000 years ago was a mere flicker, a geomagnetic excursion that lasted only 800 years before the poles snapped back. The last true, complete reversal, the Great Brunhes-Matuyama event, was a far more protracted affair. 780,000 years ago, the planet's magnetic field took a staggering 22,000 years to fully reorient itself. We can date these ancient upheavals with such confidence thanks to the silent testimony of rock and sediment, where magnetically aligned minerals are frozen in time, pointing to a north that no longer exists. The geological record reveals a planet in constant magnetic flux. In the last 40 million years, the poles have swapped places approximately 70 times. But this history offers no comfort, for there is no pattern. The planet's magnetic heart beats to no discernible rhythm. There are no reliable forecasts, no consistent frequency to these global transformations. The next reversal could be thousands of years away, or it could be millions. And yet, there are signs that give us pause. The strength of our magnetic field is waning, a persistent vulnerability known as the South Atlantic Anomaly. Some experts see this growing weakness and the unprecedented speed of its development as a terrifying omen, evidence that a portion of Earth's liquid iron dynamo, the churning engine deep within our world, has already begun to spin in reverse. As we stand upon the
Stay with me, because what comes next has been hidden for a very long time, and only a few people know the truth behind
the surface, oblivious, a silent planetary battle may have already begun, deep beneath our feet. While humanity fixates on the vulnerability of its technological civilization, a far more ancient story is unfolding. For countless species, the Earth's magnetic field is not an abstraction, but the very architecture of their existence, an invisible map etched into their being. Migratory birds and great marine mammals navigate the vastness of the globe by sensing this force. A deviation in this field is not a mere inconvenience, it is a corruption of the ancestral compass. The question then becomes apocalyptic. Could the next great polar reversal trigger a mass extinction? While the precise outcome remains beyond our predictive power, the planet's own history offers a counterpoint. Nature has successfully adapted to these geomagnetic tempests for millions of years. Life has not only survived these shifts, it has evolved through them. Indeed, research from Sweden's Lund University, analyzing data stretching back 9,000 years, concludes that the magnetic fluctuations we observe today are far from unique. They may not be the prelude to a full reversal rhythmic breathing of the planet's molten core. If this model holds true, this disturbance is not a harbinger of doom, but a transient feature, destined to fade within the next 300 years. Perhaps the true lesson lies not in the fear of a world turned upside down, but in the profound humility of recognizing our place within cycles that dwarf human history. The Earth does not operate on our timescale, and its deep, abiding rhythms are a testament to a power far beyond our own fleeting concerns.